Hello, welcome to another episode of Auds and Ends. I'm Montgomery County Auditor Carl Keith. I serve as your host for Auds and Ends. We're happy for you to join us once again. And this month we're so pleased to have as our guest Nora Vondrell from SICSA, which is the Society for the Improvement of Conditions for Stray Animals. How'd I do?
Excellent.
Nora Vondrell.
Excellent.
Yeah, she is the president and CEO of the Society for the Improvement of Conditions for Stray Animals. Now, that'll be the last time I say that.
Yes,
From now on, it's SICSA.
It's a very long name that nobody knows how to pronounce our acronym for, but it's the SICSA, so SICSA Pet Adoption and Wellness Center.
Yeah. So is it connected with a nationwide? Is this a nationwide organization? This is just a local organization?
Yeah, we were started in 1974 by a group of volunteers. In fact, it was all volunteer-led for many years. And it was a foster-based rescue. They found storefronts that hadn't been leased out yet, and on the weekends would make up makeshift adoption centers.
Okay.
But they started it as an alternative to the traditional animal welfare system that was back in the 70s. They felt that our live release rates were too low for our community, and so they started working on that, and then started hiring staff, and lo and behold, here we are, 2022, and ready to start our next year.
And what was the first year it started?
1974, May of 1974, they were incorporated.
Like almost 40 years? 50?
Yeah,
almost 40?
Almost,
50.
yeah, about 48.
That's great.
Like that,
So I should mention, too, but we have not only Nora is here with us, but we also have another guest with us.
We have Dee Dee here.
Dee Dee.
She is being so awesome. I know that we're in the midst of dog licensing season.
Yes, so we brought a cat.
But we brought a cat because we figured that the dogs might be a little bit too excited by today. But yes, this is Dee Dee. She's about almost 4 months old, and she is ready to go to her adoptive home. And SICSA actually adopts out more cats than we do dogs.
Really? Well, because cats are a little bit special. They're difficult, though, too, aren't they?
Well, they're a little bit easier if you are someone who isn't very active, because they kind of hang out in your house and you don't have to take them down to parks, etc.
Okay.
But yeah, they come with all kinds of different personalities, as do dogs. But yeah, it's easier to travel with. How's that? She's easier to travel. She just went in her little kennel.
And how old is she?
She's 4 months.
Well, she's beautiful. For those that are just listening to us, she's like gray with some white
like a gray
streaks.
Tiger,
She's beautiful.
She's snoozing.
So now you haven't been with SICSA all those years.
No, in 1974 I was 3, so that wouldn't have worked well for me. No, I've been there. I'm in my 12th year, and in March it'll be 13.
Okay. As the CEO?
As the president and CEO,
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I was hired directly in. And
were you in animal welfare work before that? Or?
I wasn't.
Okay.
My bachelor's is in social work.
Okay.
And I started working for the county, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
My first job was at Montgomery County and Animal Resource. No, it wasn't. My first job was at Montgomery County Children's Services.
Okay.
And I worked there for a couple of years and then went to Daybreak. And while I was at Daybreak, really got interested in nonprofit management. Had a couple of very great executive directors there at Daybreak, and decided I wanted to go into management. And then went and got my master's of public administration from the University of Dayton. Go Dayton Flyers!
Okay.
And eventually found my way to SICSA. I think the thread through all that is being a voice for the voiceless.
Okay.
And who's more voiceless?
Voiceless than a stray animal.
Than a stray animal who's completely dependent upon humans to make their decisions. So that's how I got into this.
I tell people sometimes people come to me and say, I think I'm going to go get a dog. I said, have you ever had a dog before? And they say, no. I said, well, I love them. They're the best thing in the world. I love them. But just so you know, a dog is like having a baby at home that never grows up. It's completely dependent on you, and so make sure you're prepared for that.
Absolutely. And we do that at our adoption process. Our adoption process isn't about checking boxes and trying to convince you that you're not a good animal owner. Our adoption process is talking about exactly that. What is your lifestyle, and what are you hoping a pet will bring to that? And then looking at the available options, dogs, cats, you name it.
So you do stray animals. So I imagine, primarily we're talking dogs and cats.
Correct.
But what other kind of unique animals have you been involved with?
Well, anytime we get something unique like that, we call our friends at the Humane Society.
Okay, send it over there.
And ask them if they have room. We are strictly dogs and cats.
Okay, okay.
Humane Society and the Animal Care and Control, as you know, are part of the Ohio Revised Code. SICSA is a private, not-for-profit. We don't have any sister companies, and so we can kind of, I guess, pick and choose and dictate, what we're able to do. Right now, a huge focus for us is on intake diversion, actually, trying to keep animals from needing to come to places like SICSA, the Animal Resource Center, trying to keep them in their home through the provision of support and resources such as behavior support, and if we can get them pet food. We just did a veterans only community veterinary clinic back in November on Veterans Day. So just trying to really keep pets with their people.
Nice. So you just have a new facility. Let's talk about that. I live in Belmont.
Okay.
So would drive up and down, Smithville,
Right.
a lot,
Yeah.
and Wilmington a lot. So I was familiar with your prior spot. Would drive past there several times a week. But you've moved down to Washington Town. Is that in the township, actually?
It is in the township. We had been in Kettering.
Great facility.
Yeah, thank you. We had been in Kettering for a very long time, and the board was in the midst of their strategic planning process, which boards do. And the single largest barrier was our building. It was built as a strip mall.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and we had a small house about where the garage is now on Wilmington Pike, and when that shopping center became available, SICSA, that was about the late 90s, I think, is if I remember correct, late 90s, and they bought that center, and then they put a new that shopping center, and we were there up until the pandemic. We actually moved, finished our building in January of 2020, had our grand opening on February 8th of 2020.
I remember a very cold day.
It was cold, that's right. You were helping us that day. And 6 weeks later, the state is closed down in a lot of ways for the pandemic. So it's been a real challenge for us. We could not have done COVID in our old building. There wasn't enough room.
Not enough room.
We went from 11,000 square feet to about 24,000 square feet. So we feel very blessed to have been able to have the pandemic and as well as have those help center services in place, because I'll tell you, Carl, they are the number one service that is requested right now is help with the pets, because pets are members of our families.
Right.
There's more pets in homes than there are children these days, and so. We really are working on that. So we're very lucky to be where we're at. Washington Township, they have been fabulous hosts of us.
Nice.
We're partnering. We partnered through the holidays with them for the pet nights at Woodland Lights there.
Oh, cool.
So it's been great. It is. We couldn't have done it.
Well, yeah,
Wilmington Pike.
Yeah, I know. I was there for the opening. I've been back a couple of times. It's a beautiful facility, and it's very roomy. I mean, again,
Yes.
I was in the old facility before, so it's
Right.
very roomy. And so, what types? You've mentioned some. But what types of programs does it give you the opportunity to do that you couldn't do at the old place?
Sure. Well, right off the bat, in the old place, our temporary care, our quarantine, our isolation was right in the middle of our bedroom, and the quarantine was right in the middle of the building.
Yeah.
And so anytime you wanted to get from the admin area up to the adoption area, you had to walk through this area, which is, and for an animal shelter, animal center, disease management is critically important.
Oh, yeah.
If you have 4,000 animals that come through your center, you need to have disease management at the top of your...
Do you have 4,000 that come through your...
We do. So that would be it. We have doubled the number of kennels we have, and volunteers, being able to utilize those volunteers for all these different services. Our clinic, our veterinary clinic is, wow, it is state of the art and has allowed us to provide services to the community that we would not have been able to. Our previous Had you ever been in our
Oh, yes.
veterinary clinic in the old building?
Oh, I don't think I was ever in the veterinary clinic. No.
It was a 20 by 20 room.
Oh.
Where the surgery suite literally used to be a closet, a supply closet.
Oh.
So to go there and now have a surgical suite that is 4 times that size,
Sure.
and then a pre-op and a post-op and an radiograph, X-ray machine. So
what type of surgeries do you do?
Oh, gosh,
anything? You do
yes.
all things? Okay.
We do. So our veterinary clinic, our primary responsibility are the animals in our care, like this little gal, Dee Dee here.
Mm-hmm.
And we provide all their care from an initial assessment when we get them all the way up to spaying and neutering and taking care of any health issues they have. For prevention, we also do over 4,000 spays and neuters annually for the public.
Okay.
So this is publicly owned cats and dogs trying to prevent homeless animals, especially in large breeds. The larger the dog, the more puppies she will have. So we definitely, and not enough homes. There's not enough adaptable animals for all those dogs. So we work very hard on spaying and neutering and for community cats. As you know, the Montgomery County community's had cat issues for years, and we started addressing them differently in 2018, and SICSA has really stepped up to help with that. So we do a lot of we do a lot of the neutering and spaying for trap, neuter, release.
Trap, neuter, release.
Well, it's actually return. You want to make sure you get them right there back into their community. And then monitor those cats to see if there's any new ones that move in and if they need any health care or spaying and neutering, getting that. But the veterinary clinic, we're just really thrilled. It's something very needed, especially that the wellness services for owned pets for people who are in financial crisis.
So you mentioned this earlier. We're in the middle of dog licensing season. We started dog licensing season goes from December 1st through January 31st every year, and we have to remind people of that. We'll get a rush at the end of the year, and you really have till the end of January. But get your dog license renewed whenever, right?
Right.
So and SICSA acts as one of our outposts.
We do.
Whether you like that or not, I'm not sure,
fine.
but we have a number of outposts. So besides there's a number of ways people can renew their licenses. We've started last year. Last year we did 51,000 licenses. We issued 51,000 licenses in the county. More than half of those were purchased online. So that's become the real option for folks. And but SICSA is like the number 3 location for us, and so we appreciate you doing that.
It's another give back. We want dogs to be licensed. Between that and the microchip and some kind of identification like a tag, that's the easiest way to get a pet home. We do lots of lost and found work, and a dog tag is not only a legal requirement, but it is a way to safely get your pet home.
Get your pet home. That my dog was a stray and very healthy, other than the fact that he'd been hit by a car, but very healthy. But
Winston, right?
Winston, but had not been microchipped, had no collar. There's no way of contacting me, which was somebody's loss but our gain because we think he's just the sweetest thing in the world, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So. You have this. I want to talk about this unique fundraising. I know you have to do a lot of fundraising, right? You're not supported by tax dollars even. Again, we appreciate you selling those dog licenses because that you don't get any of the money from those, right? So we have a service fee. I think it's 75 cents service fee. But if we lose one license, we're out the door with that money. But yes, we do that as a service more than a. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. It means a lot. I mean, I think over 700 tags you issued for us last year, which makes a big difference. We appreciate it. But you do a lot of fundraising things during the year. You have different events, special events during the year, and so I want you to tell folks about the Poop Show.
The Poop Show began in 2020. So in 2020, we moved into our lovely new facility, and then COVID happens, and we have a fall event. We used to have a fall event called the Cat's Meow. And it was a gala fundraiser cocktail party, and with COVID, we couldn't do that. We couldn't. Right. And so we had to pivot very quickly because while we work very hard to diversify our income, we are dependent upon the community for support. So we knew that it was such a crappy year. So one of our volunteers actually came up with the idea, and I grew up in Clark County, Ohio, so we had done this at my high school, which was they had divided up the football team, and then they walked a cow out there, and wherever the cow did their business, whoever square that was, they won, and we did a turn on that. So it's called the Poop Show. We have one of our play yards that is divided into 1,600 one-foot squares, and you purchase a chance. They're randomly assigned right before the event, and then we take a dog out there, and wherever he or she does her business,
That's the winner.
And the winner this last year, we just did it in September, was a volunteer who was volunteering at the event.
Oh,
it
nice.
was so fabulous.
That's fun.
So, yeah, so it's called the Poop Show, and we've had a tremendous amount of fun with that.
That's great. Yeah, I've seen the cow thing on the football field before. Yeah, I've seen. Yeah. So you mentioned volunteers.
Yes.
So there's volunteer opportunities available at SICSA?
Yes, absolutely. We have fabulous volunteers, and it's no judgment. We know some of our volunteers can work once a week, and we know some of our volunteers are snowbirds and can only work so many. So it's non-judgmental in terms of, as long as you're willing to come in and learn how we do it, because while you may have walked your dog at home, we have a little bit of different way that we need to do it for safety reasons for both the humans and the animal. Then we would love your support. And there's all kinds of volunteer opportunities. Not all of them are directly, in fact, very few of them are directly hands-on with the animals, but it's all for the animals, and that's what's incredibly important.
Well, I want to, this obviously is a rewarding experience for you. I mean, you clearly, you had to learn a lot. When you start talking about we have a special way to walk the animal. I mean, there are things you had to learn. You had those management training, those management classes, but that's not dog and cat training, right?
It's not, and animals are. Animal people aren't always people as well. So you kind of have to get in there and figure it out. And I've learned so much over the last decade.
Did you have pets growing up?
I did. We didn't have. I started out with dogs, and then we ended with cats. I guess is what there was like a flip. But yes, but I was
always a dog person.
Yeah, I like them both. I'm one of those weird people. Now my family's fostered a lot, and we've probably fostered more cats than we have dogs, just because we like to do puppies and kittens, and puppies are a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Kittens, they can use a litter box, so that's a little easier. But we've probably done more kittens. But my family, we have fostered, 60 dogs and cats over the last decade or so.
Well, I want you to know that my experience with SICSA has just been very rewarding, and we appreciate what you do in the community and all the people that work so hard there, and what a great facility you're operating there. Appreciate you coming out and the work you do to help us promote dog licensing through the community, because, again, that's important. And as you said, it's your best ticket home, and it's generally about 800-900 dogs are reunited with their homes every year as a result of having a dog license. So it's an important thing. So we want to remind people to make sure they renew their dog license before the end of January. And if they've got a new pet, any animal 3 months old or older is required to be licensed in Ohio. So again, Nora, I want to thank you for coming. Dee Dee, I want to thank you for being here as well. We appreciate that.
Yes,
and
thank you.
Thank you so much, and that'll wrap us up for another edition of Auds and Ends.